Hello and welcome. My name is Roger Quayle, and you are listening to My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts. Hello there, and welcome back to My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts with me, your host, Roger Quayle, and thank you for joining me. So, 1 week on, and fully recovered from the Killing Joke live experience, we're off to see The Cure, and, even more exciting, it's a date night. So here we go, it's The Cure at the Phoenix Hall, Sheffield Polytechnic, on Friday the 5th of May 1981. Here we go. Date night. I know Ava Green from the office next door. We chanced upon, no, jumped upon each other during a drunken session at the Limit Club a few weeks ago. It was the kind of night when you only go to the Limit because the pubs have all called time, you fancy another pint or two. It's still only 50p to get in, and, all things considered, the wank account there is still significantly lower than any other of the nightclubs in Sheffield. Ava wears tartan miniskirts of the clan Grogan and gravity-mocking heels. She likes Blondie, the Jags and the Revillos. She still can't quite believe that Phil Oakey didn't pluck her from the Crazy Daisy dance floor to join the Human League. Being something of a happening young musician about town, I've managed to wangle a +1 on the door for The Cure at the Poly. This seems to impress Ava, who saw The Cure for the first time on Top of the Pops a couple of weeks ago. However, while my love life appears to be falling into place, my life as a drummer is slowly falling apart. The Thirst lineup of DVA played its final gigs this week in Liverpool and Leeds. And while I haven't been shot out of the cannon yet, I can smell the fuse burning. So I punch Touch Me by the doors into the jukebox at the Howard Hotel. A clumsy lyrical hint that Ava and I go beyond the tongue hockey and frottage that has marked our encounters in cinemas and nightclubs thus far. Meanwhile, 6,000 miles away, Nelson Mandela sits in his jail cell, unaware that tonight's venue, the Phoenix Hall, just across the road from the Howard, will be renamed in his incarcerated honour just 18 months from now. While I've been to gigs up the hill at the Poly's Arundel Gate student bar, it's my first time in this new, functional, red brick dancette near the bus station. There is no support tonight. Instead, The Cure are touring with a short film, which they have also scored, to set the mood for the evening. Entitled Carnage Visors, this monochrome animation put together by the bass player's brother goes down well here. The Hollywood of homemade celluloid surrealism. In Sheffield, you are not really a proper band unless you've played in front of grainy Super 8 footage of someone's girlfriend looking spooked in Encliffe Park Woods. The film ends and The Cure start. Word is, they've hired Pink Floyd's sound system. Aside from Discharge and The Exploited, who, like Japanese warriors in the jungles of the Philippines, skirmish on regardless, the punk wars are long over, and the hippies won. Seizing on the momentum created by A Forest, whose chilly, motoric pulse found favour with everyone at BBC Radio 1, from Noel Edmonds to John Peel, and their new album Faith charting in the top 20. The Cure are 3 weeks into a UK tour which would have the most battle-hardened invading Roman centurions doffing their helmets in admiration. A 30-date campaign stretching from Taunton to Aberdeen. This is only a precursor to a punishing world tour which will see The Cure play a show on average every other day between April and Christmas. Stretching across 3 continents, the tour will leave no major city uncured. In stark contrast, DVA have managed to play only 7 gigs in 1981 thus far. That debut album isn't going to shift itself. Looking like a refugee from Johnny Thunder's Heartbreakers, his headstock dipping and twitching like a dowsing rod, The Cure's bass player brings the rock and roll element. The drummer, on the other hand, looks like a plumber. Stage left stands Robert Smith, seraph cute with soft spiky hair, flanging gossamer cocoons from his Fender Jaguar. His voice is a petulant student mule of unmade semen sticky beds, damp rolling papers and Polakes pavement swirls of curried chips and Pernod and Black, which, when prodded by a change in tempo, mutates into a snuffled sneer. Between the 3 of them, they form a Bermuda Triangle that swallows up light and drowns vessels of colour.
This one's called All Cats Are Grey, 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 grey,
yelps Robert. And so, it seems, are all the songs. Then they play One I Know, 10:15 Saturday night.
I bought this when it came out. It's the B-side of Killing an Arab.
I mentioned to Ava, hoping to impress her with my immaculate post-punk back catalogue knowledge. Ava isn't listening. She's gone to the bar. Meanwhile, in rehearsal rooms all over Sheffield, Friday night band practices suddenly turn arid and scratchy. Velvet-voiced bingo callers in working men's clubs sound timid and thin. For The Cure are draining South Yorkshire's canyon-esque reverb reserves dry. Above them, the lighting rig looks big enough to guide jumbo jets down on final approach. Yet the band play in a murky emulsion, which makes me wonder if black light bulbs are actually a thing. The Cure, I decide, aren't so much new wave as a frozen wave. The motion of the ocean stilled by a vicious cold snap, its foam and brine sculpted into impressive, foreboding alien shapes. The Cure are hard to love, but I have to admire their rigorous pursuit of world domination. Of the bands I've seen recently, Bauhaus, New Order, Killing Joke, I think The Cure are the best equipped to go all the way to the top. Perhaps Pink Floyd had better look for a new PA. They end their set inevitably with A Forest. We leave before the encore, me hoping for a fresh exploration of lips, hips and other bits at the bus stop. Ava hoping to catch last orders in the pub. Further up Pond Street, we bump into Martin Fry. Be it great timing or pure coincidence, I hope Ava is impressed by me being on first name terms with a rising pop star. Martin Fry is going to be a pop star. Robert Smith already is. But my little star is about to pop, leaving a big black hole. You have been listening to My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts with me, your host, Roger Quayle. Thank you, as always, to Rionagh for the artwork and to Simon Elliott Kemp for the intro and outro music. Join me again next time for another episode from My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts. This is Roger Quayle saying thank you and bye-bye.